Hi guys, Megan here, the faithful fibromyalgia warrior. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing so well. Not because life is perfect and not because there have been no challenges or things happening in life, because there have been, and that's just how life is, but I feel positive. I feel uplifted. I feel encouraged because everything is perfect and fixed. No, because I'm realizing how great God is in spite of any challenges that come into life. So I feel very lucky. I'm still, of course, being carnivore. I am following a carnivore diet. I don't eat anything other than animal products. As you saw from that cup, I do drink coffee. Um, some people choose not to. I enjoy it, so I drink it. I limit my intake, but I'm not going to give it up anytime soon. Maybe someday I will, but not yet. Um, what do I eat mostly? Well, breakfast is usually 3 eggs that I call them fry scrambled. So they're kind of fried, but then I kind of break up the pieces. So they're in between a scramble and a hard fry egg. I don't know what else to say to describe them than that. And sometimes I'll chop up a couple of breakfast sausages and cook those with the eggs. Sometimes it'll be just eggs. Sometimes I'll add in, shred some ham, or not. If I have lunch, then usually it's a jumbo footlong sausage if I'm in town. Um, it depends. Some mornings I'm not hungry, so I don't eat breakfast right away. Maybe I should, but if I'm not hungry, I don't eat. And whenever I am hungry, that's when I eat. So sometimes I'm having my breakfast closer to lunchtime, and sometimes I'll have it at like 8 o'clock in the morning. It depends on when I wake up and how I'm feeling. And I'm just trying to figure out what's right for me. Not because of something that worked for somebody else, but because it's something that works for me in my situation, and because we're all different. And as much as I have absolutely no doubt that I've encountered so much healing because I've cut out carbohydrates. Um, Sorry, let me rephrase that. I've cut out consuming all plants. There are carbohydrates in milk and in other forms of dairy. And so I do get some carbohydrates in my diet. I have limited bits of cheese from time to time, but for the most part, any carbs I get will be from the cappuccino I enjoy once a day. And I keep it to once a day. Any other coffee I have, whether it's regular or decaf, is black. Okay, just what works for me. Um, any more dairy than what I might get out of a cappuccino is too much for me. Now, I am absolutely, definitely confirmed in the throes of the beginning of menopause, which basically will mean so my emotions have been up and down. Um, I've noticed my hormones are all over the place. There's additional exhaustion and bloating, and I thought I didn't realize that's what it was. I thought, how can this be? Because my IBS symptoms, bloating, constipation, and discomfort, um, that almost all went away when I went carnivore three years ago. And I noticed over the past few months that it was coming back, and I couldn't think of what it was. I stopped having coffee with milk in it, like as far as I stopped having cappuccinos for a while, and it was still there. I cut out cheese for a few weeks, and I still noticed it. And what I didn't realize is that one of the delightful side effects or symptoms of for women going through menopause is bloating. So you get, not only do I get some of that if I'm not careful about the foods I eat, I also get it regardless as part of having menopause. And so there was that. I was feeling like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Have I failed? What's gone wrong? Um, I've had to redo one of the assignments I completed with my coursework. The subject you have to do like an 8-week case study of somebody. Take their height, their weight, their measurements, work out what are their calorie needs. Are they getting enough? Are they getting too much? Is their goal to lose weight? Is it to build muscle, get healthier overall, etc., etc.? And I had picked my husband because, just before I began the assessment, he'd asked me to help guide him to a carnivore diet, which I'd been doing very successfully. He lost 18 pounds. Yes, 18 pounds in 8 weeks. Okay. Now he has other health issues. He did have a minor heart attack 2 years ago. He's also got, he takes medication for high blood pressure. So he's on blood thinners, blood pressure medication. He's cut down on how much metformin he needs to take, but he is a type 2 diabetic. So he's battling to control that as well. Anyways, as it turns out, because he has such a complex medical background, they deemed that he was not suitable for my case study. So now I have to redo it. And I remember feeling like, it's not fair. Why is this happening to me? And I don't want to. And realizing, wait a minute, isn't that life? Isn't that how God gets us to grow? So we will sometimes face things and think, this isn't fair. Why do I have to go through this? Well, why not? And honestly speaking, having to resubmit a case study is really not a huge ask. It felt like it, but it wasn't a huge ask. And I realized as well at the time, I thought, I'm never going to get it done. I had decided, for whatever reason, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to be finished by Christmas. That'll be awesome. I mean, at least the work. I have to wait for them to mark and assess all of my modules and tasks that they've set, which can take a couple more months. So to be honest, I might have completed all the work by Christmas and had to wait till February for all my results to come through. And I was so determined to reach the end destination that I wasn't taking my time to enjoy the journey on the way. And I've just started getting into the very in-depth chemical biological process of studying nutrition and metabolism and digestion, even more than in my first part of my diploma, like even more in depth, even more chemistry and charts and diagrams involved, which is really exciting. But I realized a couple things. One, God made the human body in such an amazing way. The way all the atoms and the molecules and the enzymes and the proteins, how everything functions in the body is incredible. Okay. And how we've learned how all these things work is really amazing over hundreds of years, sometimes thousands, depending on what we're talking about, right? But to get an even deeper dive into this is really cool. But it's very, very detailed. I'm not looking at just a general simple overview of digestion, but each part of it, each gland, each hormone, each organ, what happens in the, so if the brain sends a signal to do this, then the pancreas releases that, for example. And it's all really exciting. And it just further shows me proof we are made by God. Like, this just didn't accidentally all come together and function like this by itself. This is absolutely all from God. For sure it is. Without a doubt. But what I realized is I actually need to take my time and not worry about setting artificial goals and boundaries, because sometimes that just doesn't apply, and it makes it more superficial. So for example, as I shared in my last video, my son Aiden, who has autism, is now a Christian. He got baptized on the 15th of October after studying the Bible with one of the men from church for about a year. Now not everybody takes that long to reach that point, but he broke down. So what maybe on the topic of what is sin? What are the consequences of sin? How do we overcome sin? So there's multiple scriptures that, you would perhaps look at on this topic. And maybe most people would be able to sit and go through that study and those scriptures in one sitting. But for my son, that was broken out over 3 to 4 weeks because he needed time to read it, understand it, ask questions, and make sure that he really grasped what was being taught. Okay, so because our friend modified the typical study in order to meet my son's needs, it took longer, and that's okay. Because at the end, now he's a Christian. Now he's got a relationship with God through Jesus, and he's going to heaven. That's awesome. That's all that matters. And I realized that with my course, it will take small chunks of information to help me get to the final destination, which is my level 5 qualifications, or equal to what we would call maybe a community college diploma or college diploma in Canada. Not college, like I know in the US, okay, it's confusing because I know in the US, college would include places like Harvard, although technically it's called Harvard University, it's college, right? Whereas college in Canada is more vocational, if you will, shorter programs, lots more hands-on application typically. Okay, and that's the same with colleges here in the UK. So my diploma is a college diploma equivalent. So it's a level 3, which means if I was doing it in an in-person setting, it would probably be a 3-year program. But because it's all online and I can move through at my own pace, if I'm in a zone and I want to sit and do coursework for 5 hours straight instead of a couple of hours, maybe twice a week or once a week, I can do it faster. However, just because I'm trying to, scroll through faster doesn't mean I'm going to get the information better. It doesn't mean I'm going to grasp it any more in depth. Doesn't mean it's going to be more applicable or understood or prepare me better. And I'm realizing if I don't slow down and let myself determine, hey, I grasped all this, but my mind's starting to wander or my brain's starting to fade, I need to take a break. If I'm not doing that and I'm just trying to push myself through this information, there's no point because I'm not going to be successful. And for what reason? Me wanting to be done in 6 months, okay, cool, that's a good goal to have, but it's not that practical. It's not really realistic. And to be quite honest, it's a lot, and I don't want to burn out. I don't want to get through the program and go, wow, I'm glad that's over, and I never want to look at this stuff again. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't know why I bothered. I don't want to reach that point. And I realized that's how life is, right? Take each moment as each moment comes, but why rush through? Why worry through something? I wouldn't do that when I sit down and I decide to study out or read through some scriptures in a particular book. I take my time. I think through it. I let my thoughts just kind of mull over. I don't try to rush through it or just jot something down and forget about it. I try to think through it and really take it in. And that's life, And when I realized that's what I was trying to do with life just in general, with my approach to carnivore, with my approach to improving my range of motion, getting more mobility, I was going at it from the wrong way. And I was worried that something had happened, that I was sliding backwards somehow because I was feeling aches and pains, because suddenly my sleep at night wasn't the best. I wasn't feeling very refreshed in the morning. I was feeling, as I've shared in the last couple of videos, I've had bouts of definite anxiety, and times where I've struggled with my faith. And I just thought, what's going on? Like, carnivore was doing all of this for me. Why is this not happening anymore? Until I realized a few things. One, healing and change is not linear. It has ups and downs. And although I feel positive and I feel up and I don't feel like my anxiety's caught me today, which is great, it doesn't mean it won't ever happen. And then when it does rear itself, I don't need to panic. I need to turn to prayer. I have not given in and comfort eating or anything like that. My appetite I've had days where I've had very little hunger and days where I felt ravenous. But it only hit me recently. Yeah, but that's also part of menopause. And so nothing's going wrong. That's just the stage I'm going through. And I just need to embrace it, love it, and carry on with it. And keep doing the positive, right things I'm doing. And so, yeah, that's all I was just going to say. So I am feeling great today. I'm probably eating a bit more chicken than I was before, mixing it up with stuff. I'm having more chipolatas and sausages, trying to mix it up, not just beef with egg yolks, although that's good too, but definitely staying carnivore. And it's crazy. I know that just as staying faithful, praying, walking with God is the key for when times of anxiety or doubt do happen, I also know that sticking to carnivore when I'm feeling, whatever, aches, pains, whatever else, that's going to be key because it's going to be worse if I don't. And everything happens at the right time, and I can't make things happen faster than they're going to happen. All right. So I've realized I have to reset my expectations, and that's a good thing. That's how it should be, so that way I get the most out of faith and life. And that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I mean, not much else new is going on. That's where I'm at. There's only so many times I can say to you guys, I think, try egg yolks and ground beef and sausages and pork and chicken. And you guys, if you've watched any of my other videos, you guys know this, because I've shared it. But sometimes it's about more than just that. So I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope you guys are encouraged. If you're not, I just wanted to say it does pass. It does get better. Nothing is forever. And trust me when I say that I think finding that staying carnivore will help reduce a lot of that stuff. But also, equally, if not more importantly, staying faithful, trusting God through the tough times, that's also really key. Anyways, guys, I hope you're well. I'm doing well. I hope you are well. And that's it for now. But I will hopefully have more content for you guys in the next little while. And feel free to share this with anybody you think could benefit, that this might encourage. That's the reason why I do it. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.